Hello, hello. I'm your girl, Michelle Hope Walker. Hello. First of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all the people that stood up for the homeless people, that stood up, that stand up every day for homeless people. Before COVID, and at a time I would always go to the meetings and talk about, making sure the funding, because, your city, your county, and your state has funding that can help the homeless. And then you have to then watch the funding that does get allocated to help the homeless to make sure that the money actually gets spent to actually help the homeless. So being an advocate to help homeless people. I mean, I did not grow up with homeless people. And when I say I didn't grow up with homeless people, let me clarify that. Meaning the little town I grew up in the Midwest, we did not have homeless people, not that I was aware of. At least I didn't see them out on the streets like cities and places now. You clearly see it and know it, which is not right. And don't blame the homeless people for being homeless. I always think that's like the craziness, because who is just going to choose to be outside if they don't want to? Again, people that go camping, they chose to go outside and stay out there, But most people, would like a roof over their head, if they can afford it, and if they can have one, in the sense. And again, people are working, people are doing things. There's a lot of homeless people that work. And I don't know what the new word, I think it's sometimes the unhoused people. So I want to make sure I say it right. The unhoused people. The reason why sometimes I was sister homeless, because when you're talking at least about the unhoused, when you use the word homeless, more people that are not familiar with homelessness relate with that term. They know who we're talking about, in the sense. But my thing is to help them, help them in whatever way that you can. Now, don't get me wrong, right? I know some people, well, I know a guy and he's always done a drink. Okay, so all of us know maybe somebody or aware of certain people that may be living out on the streets and, maybe doing some skeptical type activity. Again, but that's not majority of the homeless people. I mean, people that live in homes, nice homes and houses, there's people in there doing some suspect types. You know what I'm saying? We see that all the time, people getting arrested from their home. So, that's just population of people, period, whether they live in a house or out of house. You know what I'm saying? You just tend to see it because they're outside, but where you don't see what's going on in everybody's house because they're inside their house. And shout out to the people that's doing the tiny homes, which at least gives them some type of privacy. And some other amenities, that they can have without actually being outside. And shout out for the tents, because I remember when I first got to LA, I remember going down what they call the Skid Row area, and literally I was on a city bus and going out, I just cried. I think I cried because people were literally just laying all over the sidewalk. It was just so sad. I was like, I can't believe this is America. Because again, this is still new to me. You know what I'm saying? As far as this homelessness, I mean, now, I said, like, I'm talking about, when I first, I guess maybe the first time I lived here, I guess I lived in a different area. I never did actually ever go past that area. Actually, I don't know why or how. I guess so. That makes me think a lot of people probably have never seen Skid Row or never seen an area like Skid Row. But then again, these days, it's not just about just Los Angeles' Skid Row area. Now, you see homelessness everywhere, the small towns, big cities, where you see the tents and everything. But again, shout out for the tents, because at one time there were no tents. You had to literally just lay on the ground and have you a blanket or whatever the case might be, so I do thank God for the tents that gives them some type of closure. Some will build their own, home type, and I don't get mad because I'm like, they don't have a home and I don't have money to buy them a home where I can help them out. So they got to do something, I think about, even so as a kid, I wasn't exposed to homelessness. I wasn't really aware of it. I could say maybe more until, let's say, I lived in Atlanta for a while. Maybe even then I wasn't totally exposed to it back then in Atlanta. I guess we just knew where sometimes be people that were actually for money at gas stations or whatever. That was somewhat new to me because, again, in my little town in the Midwest where I was raised from, we never used to see that, But then, especially when I got in LA, I tended to see, and especially when I was in the Skid Row area, now I think everybody is seeing it, because now you see the homeless is blatantly out. It's out there no matter what town or city you live in, you see it. But thank God for the tents, because they didn't even used to have no sense of privacy. At least the tent gives them a little bit of sense of privacy. I remember there was this comedian that and I liked his joke. He had this coin type joke, and then he had the joke, I can't think of his name right now, but he talked about, how people don't want to give homeless people anything. Like if they ask for $1, they ask them change or whatever, I think he was about to give something to a homeless person, and he said his friend was like, don't give nothing to them. That you shouldn't give nothing to the homeless or whatever the case might be. And he was like, all they're going to do is drink it up or whatever. He was like, well, what do you expect them to do with $1? I mean, and it's funny, but also just make you think, and looking at all that they're experiencing, if they have a drink, so what? I mean, you live in your home and you have a drink, what I'm saying? Again, I don't drink alcohol, but I'm just saying people that may drink, occasionally, whatever they may do, they don't see anything wrong with that, So some of these things, these negative things they put on the homeless people, and that people just try to, you have to watch it, because some people, especially people are trying to get them out of a certain area, whatever, they really say a lot, use certain terms and negative words to describe the homeless, to make them seem very bad, like bad people, to make people do things to them. Matter of fact, it was one time, was that Orange County, somebody was setting the homeless people on fire. It's just sad, and I know homeless people, and I love talking to everybody. So when I say I'm happy-go-lucky and just love talking to people, I do. You all know, again, I'm Michelle Hope Walker. I'm a comedian, an actress, a person. I do music. I just love people, and so I talk to everybody. I feel like you can learn something from everybody, and I'm not going to turn my nose up at somebody because they going through a situation or whatever, because they live outside. Some people that live outside are way more happier than people that live in a mansion. You know what I'm saying? And what? Is it you expect them to be sad? Why would you expect them to be sad? Because they live outside, you expect them to be sad? It's okay for them to be happy. I'm like, gosh, let them have some type of joy considering the situation that they may be experiencing and going through, But you just have some people, they just don't want to see nobody happy. They're not happy, so they don't want to see nobody happy, But, so even in my talks with homeless people, just even have friends who are homeless or whatever the case might be, it is not easy. A lot of times they're up at night because you will have mean people that try to mess with them at night. So a lot of times they're up at night just as protection, and you may see them sleeping more in the daytime and sleeping in an area where it's a crowded area where a lot of people pass by, because they feel more safe. They would think and thinking that since they're in a public area, people wouldn't do bad things to them, because then maybe somebody would say something to them or say something about it to them. I know there was this one guy, and it was sad, and I think this guy, he may have been, in and out mentally, but it still, to me, was not right. There was a guy, he was just taking pictures of him. I think the homeless guy, he was pulling his pants up, he had his stuff, and again, he didn't have a belt, so he was trying to, and then there was a guy just taking pictures of him. So I'm guessing, too, I got to think, he probably was taking pictures of him, trying to, look at this element in our neighborhood, and we don't want him out. But actually, this was a very busy street. Again, I live in LA, so it was a very busy with everybody. So really, you don't know if this person, you don't know what's going on for, but you just don't freely get a chance to take a picture of what he's doing. You're going to post that picture? That's not right. Again, we do have rights. I don't know, maybe they could have, but I just didn't think it was right, because I thought he was going to use that picture of me. So I happened to say, I said, that's not right for you to take a picture of him in that state. He has his pants down, he's trying to pull his pants up, and, I think he was sort of out of it, and you could tell maybe some mental things were going on, So I'm like, instead of talking about the homeless, help them. Because you don't know what situation you might be in. You know what I'm saying? Actually, certain help agencies label homeless. It's not just the people that live on the street, but if you live in even with somebody else and you don't have your own home and y'all not actually roommating, but you just literally staying with them or whatever the case might be, you could be considered homeless, or something of the sort, at least, for, help agencies to help you. And again, nothing wrong with that, so it can help you to get your own area so you don't have to stay with someone. But I just say it like that in a sense to remind people, don't be so quick to put your nose up or your nose down on folks, because you don't know people's situation. Everybody goes through something, especially in this COVID time. So let me date this video. So today is March 26, 2021. And it's Friday. And so with COVID, you've had so many people go through, so many people that used to have it like that don't have it like that. You had people lose their homes, but shouts out and thank you to the politicians and different people that have helped to do rent memorandums, where it helps people to stay in their homes, and they're helping to pay rent and helping to pay mortgages so people don't lose their homes, so thank God for that. But again, so don't be so quick to judge people. So anyway, in the Echo Park area, actually the Echo Park, there are people living at the park, and they just kept saying they're trying to clean the park up, and so they want the people gone, and it's just the way they treat the homeless people sometimes too. And then the police, on one hand, I sort of feel sorry for the police in the sense that then they go and they use the police to be the ones that have to go move the people. And I'm sure there may be some officers that can understand, the plight of the homeless and don't really want to have to be mean to the homeless or whatever, but then they're called upon to move the homeless out of things, and it's almost a money thing. And when I watched this on TV, it made me again think about really the police seem like it's like they use the police really just to protect money, because when those of us that need protection, maybe we don't have a lot of money or whatever, they don't worry about protecting us. They don't spend a lot of time helping to protect us. But the city or whoever it is that wants to clean up that park area, which I don't understand why they can't clean the park up while the people are there. I know down in MacArthur Park, they're always cleaning that park up with the homeless people living in it. Even the homeless people help. To matter of fact, I think it was a program somewhere where they paid the homeless people to help keep a park cleaned up and different things like this. So why didn't Echo Park do that? Why didn't you invest then? You saying they need a job, well then invest in the people and pay them to help clean the park up. And even on your days where you have to maybe drain the water, you have to do certain things that you need the space, well then ask them maybe on that day maybe to have a certain area where they can take all their stuff and put it in that area. So then, maybe they're going to cut the grass of the park or whatever it is that they're going to do. Sort of like street sweepers. You know what I'm saying? On certain days, at least out here in LA, on certain days, they say, Tuesdays, don't park here because we're sweeping the street. So then on Tuesdays, people know to not park there. And then they even give it a certain time. That doesn't mean all day on Tuesday, but they give a certain time. Well, give the homeless that type of respect. Don't feel like just because they live outside that then you can treat them any type of way and you don't have to respect them or anything, but again, shouts out to the people that stood up. Shout out to the people. I seen these people stand up towards the police. Going at it with the police. Now, again, these were people that were not black. Plus, might have been a few black people there, but and shouts out to white people through the Black Lives Matter movement, because we need y'all. We need all y'all non-black people, because unfortunately, sometimes when it's just us, they just come and beating us. They ain't even trying to hear what we got to say or nothing. And that's why a lot of times when we looked at what they did at the Capitol on January 6th and the police didn't come out and do nothing, my thing was, how did they even get to the Capitol door? You mean they banging on the door and no police or nobody come out to say nothing? I'm like, we as black people can't even get to the stairs, I don't think. And that's what black people was like, and that's why I sort of had me some popcorn, and I'm like, look at this. This is entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, if they wanted to, they could have got them people. They quick to get us. So again, they're doing their research, trying to figure out what went wrong there. Because again, you just see an ounce of a color. You see one black person. And the 10 police come out, 20, you know what I'm saying? You're like, what is the black person doing? Are they doing something? The black person don't be doing nothing wrong. They just walking down the street, but they just start following them because they're like, well, you don't look like you belong in the same. There's areas that black people don't belong in? What are you saying? That is so racist. Oh my gosh. Anyway. So shouts out to the people that stood up for the homeless. It just gets me in tears. I'm like, thank you that someone is thinking, because this is all about money. So again, when we talk about class, so even after we get beyond the race and the gender, there's the class. There's the class where this is still this thing where people think if they feel like you don't have a lot of money, they feel like they can do anything to you. anything to you. So again, for our homeless people, and if you're black and homeless, oh my God, if you're a black woman and homeless, oh my gosh, I just pray for you. In the name of Jesus, it's just so sad because already, no matter how much money a black woman has, already a lot of times in our societal poll, we're usually at the bottom. And don't get mad at me. I ain't said it. Y'all set it up that way. So, because sometimes when you say people are like, want to get attitude. I'm like, no, our society set it up that way. The rich white man is usually at the top. The black woman is at the bottom. And the poor, homeless, poor black woman is at the bottom, and the rich white man is at the top. And then everybody else is somewhere in between there. You know what I'm saying? It's real. And it goes like that on how people are treated. Look at how the rich white man gets treated, and look at how the homeless black woman gets treated. Okay? Don't be looking at me crazy. Act like I developed it. I didn't develop it. Man, you yourself, if you seen the two, would be one treating one a certain way and one another type of way. Why wouldn't you treat them both the same? They're both human people, and they both deserve respect, and they both deserve to be treated right. Because I'm like, if you're going to treat people wrong, well, then you better treat both of them wrong. If you're going to treat people right, well, then you better treat both of them right. Now, again, there is a growing realm of people that have gotten beyond class and race that they just gonna treat people right. Because I know I'm not looking at your race, I'm not looking at your class, I'm not looking at you. My goal, I love everybody. I'm happy and I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? So my goal, I'm treating all you right. You know what I'm saying? So that's the ultimate goal that we want to get to, is everybody treating everybody right, and not, with the nose in the air, judging certain folks and treating, the white rich man, like he gold, and then treating the poor black woman like she, the dirt of the earth. You know what I'm saying? And so it's wrong. So again, though, going back again to the homeless issue, and then the people standing up for the homeless, just put tears on. I just love it. So again, most of these people were not black, and again, it might be some blacks in it, but again, because we need other races, because again, police, it's just real. Police deal with black people in a harsh way. We be wanting to stand up. Oh Lord, we be wanting to stand. I even have to watch this again. Y'all know I love people, so I'm always trying to stand up for people. I remember, because so I, before COVID, I tend to go to a lot of city meetings and stuff like that. I remember I was at a meeting. This white man, he just kept following me. He was talking about he was needed help to do this and that. He's an older white man. Might have been even the oldest Jewish man, whatever the case. And I could tell after a while listening to him that someone right all the way there. So I was trying to help him. And so then I think I was talking to an officer that was trying to help him, because then the guy was saying he needed his daughter or whatever. So as I'm going to the officer trying to get help, but the officer looking at me like I'm mistreating the white man. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, and then light went off in me. Oh, forgot. I'm a black woman. It's sad because again, I don't walk around in life thinking, I'm a black woman, so I can't do this, I can't do that. And it's no. And even when I know all these type of boundaries and all these type of things that people try to put on us, I still do not operate within that. I'm a human being. This is what I want to do. I'm going to go do it. I'm going wherever side town I want to go to. I'm doing whatever, I'm doing it, not again, I might take more information with me, about me or something, because again, you do have to be aware that sometimes you might get stopped for no reason, and different things. You want to have proof to say, okay, no, I live here. I'm a human being, all this stuff. But anyway, so I've learned, we even have to watch when we're helping other races, because then people will think we're trying to do something bad to the other race because we're a black person. It's like, and then with black women, they always think we're up to something and we're trying to lie or do something to somebody. When you go to these help agencies and stuff like that, you have to deal a lot with that. We've heard about how with welfare, a lot of time they screen black women more, because I always think that the black woman is lying and she hiding the black man and she doing all this. It's crazy. They just can't assume like the poor white woman that the black woman needs help just like the poor white woman, and you believe the poor white woman, but yet you just don't believe the poor black woman. You think something's wrong with her for a while. It's great, but that's what we get, So anyway, so again, most of the protests that I've seen, were not black, but they were standing up, and they were standing. It amazes me. Again, I get my popcorn out. I'm like, this is interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because with us, they be beating us. It would be over. We'd be arrested. Somebody be dead. But they're going at it with them, and the police tussling with them. But again, they're not, being too harsh with them. And I'm like, okay. But I just appreciate them standing up for the homeless people. Standing up, because it's not like the homeless people can pay them back. When you stand up, and I've heard that somewhere, they said when you stand up for people that cannot pay you back, they have nothing to really give you, You know, that's really a good humanity thing, which all of us should be willing to do that anyway, you know. So these people are out in numbers standing up for these homeless people and saying, you know, you shouldn't just move them. You know, you're not even getting them notice. And then where are you taking them? And this theory that, you know, homeless people should just go wherever we want to take them. Are you going to go just wherever somebody wants to take you? I mean, and then you got to understand, at these shelters, there's a lot of mistreatment. Sometimes the shelters are not safe. Sometimes they have bugs in them. Sometimes the women get raped in these shelters, you know. And then, you know, I've heard with some homeless people talk about, okay, they do these programs with them, you know, where then some of the homeless people will agree to go to the program. And so it gets the homeless people out of their mode of where they've been able to take care of themselves outside and do what they had to do. You know, they had their pattern set up of how, you know, they, you know, got done what they need to get done. So they go ahead and they go to it, but then the program only lasts for a while and they're put right back on the street again. So they're like, and then they got to get used back to and develop a whole nother program again. So instead of, you know, disrupting their program that they already got set, you know, living out on the street and able to function and do different things. And right now in COVID, a lot of them are like, I'm safer outside than inside. You're going to take me inside and kill me, you know. Which, think about it, a lot of homeless people have not gotten COVID. I remember early on, they kept wanting to test the homeless. They kept wanting to test, and I already seen the little negative thing in it, you know, the little class issue in it, you know, the little putting nose in the air, figuring, oh well, you know, their theory of that homeless people are dirty, so most definitely they must have COVID. No, and a lot of times they were testing the homeless people, and they were not COVID. They did not have COVID at all. No, that's what y'all get, because y'all think negative of homeless people. And so, and I'm not saying that you may not see some homeless people that got different issues or whatever. You see people in people's homes who live in homes that got issues, you know what I'm saying? You know, but the vast majority are not like that. You know what I'm saying? And so, anyway, you know, so you got homeless people that are like, you're trying to put me inside somewhere more than ever with COVID and COVID times and COVID era. This is the time I really want to be outside, you know, because you're safer outside, you know. And so, you know, so for all them people to stand up, you know, they did it for like 2 nights ago. They just did it again last night. Again, let me date this video. It's March 26, 2021. It's Friday, you know, so kudos to them. Kudos to them. Kudos, and I think last night a lot of them got arrested because they refused to move. You know, their goal is sheltering around so they wouldn't go in and move the homeless. So they refused to move, and the police literally picked them up, and or some walked on their own to you know, be arrested. Now, also, for some of you, no matter what race you are, again, when you protest, it's like to throw this in here. A lot of times, people that are protesting, a lot of times those be attorneys, lawyers, those be people and it be planned a lot of times, and they got money to get out and this and that. You know, sometimes I have to tell people that, because sometimes people will go to protest and do all this different stuff, and then they get in jail, they ain't got no money to get out, their whole life is transformed, their family ain't got no money. I'd be like, before you go and do all that, also make sure you prepare. You know, a lot of people that's, you know, protesting or marching different things, and is willing to stay for the long haul and different things, they have bail money already. They already have attorneys. Some of them are attorneys. You just don't know because they in plain clothes. But some of them are attorneys. You know, they, you know, when I say plain clothes, it goes back to how people judge people. You know, if you're an attorney, they expect you always be in a suit, you know, and if you in jeans and a t-shirt, they just, for whatever reason, again, this is how shallow people are, they assume you're not an attorney. You know? But anyway, so a lot of them, they are attorneys, you know, and a lot of them are doing, you know, and don't get me wrong, you do just have people who are activists, and they don't have a lot of money either, but this is just what they believe in. This is what they believe in, standing up for rights, you know what I'm saying? You know, but you got to have a game plan. You don't want to just be going out there doing some stuff, and you ain't got, I remember even being with one march, and this is how I learned this stuff is deep, and they was talking, okay, now write all your phone numbers on you, you know, because I'm just, you know, Trayvon Martin March, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm like, okay, I didn't know all this was going on, and then, you know, came the other folks to do certain things, like, okay, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for, okay, you know, I had to, you know, excuse myself, so other stuff started going on that I didn't sign up for, but, And even I remember marching and singing, and then the media the next day, and they had me posted up like I was leading the march. And that's when I learned about drones. That's when I learned about that drones are everywhere. And so it's not about the media being right there with the camera in your face. Drones are everywhere, catching what you know, catching. But I don't like to say catch because it's not like you're doing nothing bad. It's not wrong with you standing up for people's rights and marching. And so, but again, kudos to all you all that are out there, whether you're attorneys, whether you're activists, whether you're just people that pass by. I was like, I'm about to join this movement. You know, my life is about standing up and helping others. You know, kudos to you. Because that still is a decision that you made that means a lot. You're helping me. And then in COVID days when we're still trying to stay away, I mean, yes, the vaccines are out there, but you still, you know, people are still getting COVID and people are still dying from COVID, you know. And so we still have to do our 6 inches, you know, 6 feet away and still got to watch what we're doing, you know. So even in midst of COVID, you got these people out here protesting, protecting these people because they know it's a money deal. So again, back to the police, what I say, you know, so they use the police, money people use the police to move people away or to do this to people, to protect money. They're really protecting money. And, you know, it's just sort of sad. And that's why I said, you know, and I remember going out to be a police officer. My goal was because I wanted to serve the community, you know, because when you read the brochures, it says you're supposed to, police officer, about serving the people. You know, what happened to serve all people goes. But it's about serving the people, you know. Then after a while, I just started looking more into the law side of it, you know, helping to protect me because, you know, myself at times had to get lawyers. And I'm like, wow, this is neat because I'm saying the same thing the attorney is saying, but because this person's an attorney, they're listening more to this person than they are me, you know. Now I forgot the aspect too that I'm a black woman, so that could also be why they want because sometimes I've just had white women that they're not an attorney, they're not nothing, just their mere color help to say. And again, when I say me, I wasn't doing anything wrong. It's just people, you know, because of the color of your skin, just thinking you're doing something wrong and then starting to mistreat you. And then thank God for the white woman to come in and save you. You'd be like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. The one white woman, bless her heart, in the airport, she helped me out, but then she got on me. And I didn't even do that wrong, but even she got... I was just going through the, you know how you got to go through the little scanner, and it was a small airport. Bloomington, Illinois, was a small airport, you know, so, and majority white, not black, you know what I'm saying? And so they scrutinize you anyway, you know what I'm saying? And I had forgot to take the big bottle of stuff, and my son had got me this for my birthday, so it really meant a lot to me. I forgot to take the big and put it in smaller bottles. I forgot it was in there. It was a gift that he had gave me, you know? And so when I went through and they pointed, I was like, wait a minute, well, can I just go pour it in a small bottle? And they would just give me, so we throwing it away, or you're gonna have to go all the way back out with all this stuff. We got to rescan. And the white woman just walked. She's like, no, wait a minute, you know, because I was about in tears. So I was like, I don't want to throw myself. And the plane was about to leave, so I had to, you know. And she went over there, and she was just like, well, what is the problem? Can't you just pour the stuff in? I watch her stuff. Just let her go. So she watched my stuff, and she had talked to them, and she wasn't an attorney or nothing. Her mere color helped. When they changed their mind, treat her like gold and just in awe, you know. And then they should know, you know, you're not supposed to. And I'm like, bless her heart. Anyway, so again, thank you, people that's helping the homeless. Thank you. And we all need to do whatever we can to help the homeless. Now, I seen somebody did a tweet to say, okay, well, they all should take a homeless person home. Well, it's just not always that easy. And sometimes a homeless person don't want to go with you just because you're willing to go, and they don't know nothing about you. You know, again, this theory of just throw the homeless anything. You know what I'm saying? You know, people throwing food that they've already eaten up on, then get mad because the homeless don't want it. You know, I mean, like, just because they're homeless don't mean they don't have a brain and they don't have the right to have choice. You know, so first of all, who says a homeless person gonna want to go home with somebody that they don't know? You know, but anyway, you know, there's more parts to it than that. You know, but you still have a heart to help the homeless. You may not can take them home with you, especially in COVID days. You know, but and that's not just the homeless. I'm not letting anybody in my home. My own kids ain't even in my home. You know what I'm saying? During COVID, you know. So I just want to clarify that because it's not saying something wrong with them. Because I have literally before COVID, I have literally brought a person home, and then I got to think, okay, maybe that's not the way to do it. You know, because I don't know a lot about this person, and you know, we both sleep with our eyes open. She wears them through mine, because we don't know nothing about each other. But, tell her maybe that's not the way to do it. But you help them whatever means that you can. But don't get me wrong. Some people are taking people home, and that's fine. Do what you need to do. Okay, I'm your girl, Michelle Hope Walker. Again, shouts out and kudos and thank you to all the people that are protecting homeless people, that are protesting and standing up for homeless people. Okay, so you can find me on Twitter at Hope_Speaks. Michelle Hope Walker Speaks, period. Listen is my Facebook, and Michelle Hope Walker Speaks is my Instagram.